Okay, before we get into this next recipe, this is something quick we're going to throw together because I need it today. And so I wanted to get on and film it. But there are a couple little caveats that come with this. As you know, if you followed us at all for any amount of time, we like to cook whole food plant-based with very little oil. And so that means that we're going to avoid processed foods as much as possible and have little or no animal products and meat, which we do, and it is so good for us. We feel it. So we try to be good about that. But there are a few things that we have discovered kind of help ease our way. We still try to stay as plant-based as possible, but this tomatillo dressing is one of those things. What we found is it is so good, and it is packed full of really high antioxidant, really awesome vegetables. So, and I mean packed. It has so much cilantro in it, and tomatillos, lots of tomatillos, especially because we edge up the tomatillo amount, and jalapenos. So it's got good stuff in it. And we use plant-based, we use almond milk, but we do use one thing in this dressing that may give you pause, and it is this. So we do use this dry ranch mix to give it flavor. And as you're probably well aware, this has MSG and some buttermilk in it. But we've weighed it out, and for us, it is worthwhile to make this dressing because we eat it on so many very, very good things, like our Cafe Rio salads that we make with our amazing beans, and so many good vegetables and stuff. And then also, like, something like a baked potato. I love to cook up a whole oven full of baked potatoes, and I love this dressing on a baked potato, and it makes it easy for me to not want to put other not good stuff on that potato. So that is why we have chosen to allow that. We also use plant-based mayo, which has oil. So you have to weigh that out for yourself, and if that is not something you want to compromise on, then that's awesome, and this video wouldn't be for you. But that is where we're at. So I am going to make this dressing, and you can try it for yourself and see what you think. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're ready to start here. I've prepped the cilantro. All I did was rinse it, and I did clip off the ends because it had quite a few stems on it. So I just clipped off the ends of the whole bunch, and I've got it just here on this towel. These are our tomatillos. We're going to be using 4 of them. We're doubling the recipe as usual because I like to have a lot and I like leftovers. So the tomatillos just slip out of the husk here, and that's what it looks like. So we've got those. And then we're going to, for this recipe, we're going to use 1 jalapeno. That's because I don't love a lot of heat in this dressing, but that, of course, is your preference. Let me just rinse these tomatillos really quick. They have a little bit of a gummy or sticky feel to them, but that's just part of the nature of the tomatillo. And then I'm going to go ahead and quickly get the seeds out of this jalapeno because I don't want to have those seeds in there because I don't like the heat. So we're just going to get that out of there so that will be ready to throw in. This is such an easy recipe because we use the blender, and you just toss everything in and it does all of the work. So I don't even have to cut that up very, very much. Let me just shake out those seeds. So there's our jalapeno. So let's go ahead and start. I've got almond milk here. So we'll start with that. And because we're doubling the recipe, we're going to need 2 cups of that. And I'm just using the little graduated marks on my blender there to see the amount. And then when it comes to adding the mayo, all I have to do for that is go ahead and I'm using the marks on the blender to just tell me when I get to 4 cups, because I put 2 cups of milk in, and then as I add the mayo, it will raise the level of the milk so that I can see when I have 2 cups of mayo in addition to that. And then I don't have to dirty a measuring cup. I'm telling you, shortcuts matter. I really like to not do dishes. I like to not chop things, and I just don't like to cook, as you know. So then we have that in there. We're going to go ahead and add 2 ounces of the dressing mix that I mentioned earlier, the Hidden Valley Ranch dressing mix. And we're going to go ahead, I'm going to just cut up this larger tomatillo, but other than that, I can just drop the others in whole. And the recipe calls for 1 large tomatillo or 2 small, but I like the tomatillo. That's my favorite part. It's such a fresh taste I like to make sure I'm on the top end of that. So I've got these 4 fairly good sized tomatillos, and I just had a stem there that I peeled off. And then we'll stick in our jalapenos. And then the last thing to go in is our cilantro. Now this is an awesome blender. So I don't know what your blender's capabilities are. This is a Ninja, and I love it, love it. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff that in there. And this blender can handle it. Even still, there's going to be a little bit wrapped around the shaft there, so I'll open it halfway and untangle the last little bit. But if your blender is not as, robust, then keep that in mind, and maybe you probably won't do a double batch anyway. So a single batch should keep things fairly manageable for even a less powerful blender. And then lastly, we're going to use a teaspoon of lime juice. Once again, fresh lime is really where it's at, but I hate waste, and so I end up using just, the bottled lime juice a lot of the time. So even though if I have fresh limes around, I will always use that first. So there we go. I'm just going to put the lid on and put the handle down, and now plug your ears because we're about to blend. All right, let's check to see. Not too much cilantro around the middle. So apparently we had a good day with that. I've got a little bit of remnant left there, so I'm going to go ahead and blend it for a few more seconds. That's what it looks like. If you could smell this, ooh, especially if you're a cilantro fan like I am. Oh, 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 oh. So let me just go ahead and finish this blending job. Alrighty, there it is. That is our tomatillo dressing. Look at that closely. And it is just heavenly. You're going to love this stuff on everything. Just a couple quick things now that we're done with the recipe. This is how much it made. We doubled the recipe and it made almost 2 quarts. And this keeps really well in the fridge for a couple of weeks. And you will find that it'll separate a little because it is so full of actual vegetables. And the tomatillos are kind of nice and juicy. And so it'll separate as it sits in the fridge. Just always shake it up before you use it and you'll be good. So it actually makes close to 2 quarts. I've actually been eating it with my friend's sourdough bread because I didn't have, she's a sourdough bread guru. She's so good, and it is so good. Anyway, I didn't have anything to eat this on at this very moment. I'm making it for a family party tomorrow, actually. We're going to have a big potato bar, which is a really good idea for parties where you have a lot of different people on a lot of different eating plans. So this is one of the things for our plant-based segment of the family to go on their potatoes, but I didn't have anything to eat it on right now, so I just got out the sourdough bread and I'm just dipping it and eating it. It is so good. So you'll love it.